to come forward and make some special remarks. Mayor?
Everyone please be seated. It is my distinct honor and privilege today to be part of this retirement ceremony for one of Panama City's most famous landmarks. A day does not pass, nor should it, that we do not acknowledge or say a prayer for our first responders and military that play a very strong and economic role in our community. The City of Panama City accepted this F101 jet in 1976, commemorating the pride and outstanding service provided by the men and women at Tyndall Air Force Base. Prior to that, in 1962, we had an F-86 that was here. Being a member of the Military Affairs Committee, I know and understand how important it is here in Bay County, how much that the military bases play a vital role in our community. I can assure you that our City Commission will unveil plans in the future as part of our marina redevelopment. During the ceremony today, there will be 3 flags that will be presented. One to the family of Sonny Vale, who used to fly this jet that's been here since 1976. The second will be presented to my close friend, Cindy Seltzer, honoring her late husband, Rick Seltzer. The jet is now at Gulf Coast State College. The third flag will be presented to the City of Panama City, marking this special occasion and symbolizing our Commission's efforts to establish a new memorial honoring our rich military heritage. Again, I want to thank all of the men and women at Tyndall Air Force Base and our Navy base for being such vital assets to our community. Now I'd like to introduce the chairman of our Military Affairs Committee, Mr. Al McCambry.
Thank you. To the mayor, commissioners, and distinguished guests, I would like to say thank you for having us here today. The Bay County Chamber of Commerce and its Military Affairs Committee is proud to be part of this landmark occasion. Our committee was formed in 1946 to recognize the economic impact and support the brave men and women of our military. We honor those who have given so much to protect our country and realize that some of our men and women in the military have given the ultimate sacrifice. We would also like to thank the families who have shared their loved ones with us so that we may be able to continue to enjoy the freedoms and the liberties that this great nation of ours has to offer. Our organization is also very excited over the plans to renovate what we call the jewel of the Gulf Coast, this beautiful marina area. We look forward to unveiling of the forthcoming gift to the community that will honor all of the branches of our military. We commend our city leaders, their staff, and the citizens of Panama City and Bay County for this worthwhile endeavor, which will serve as a shining beacon of hope to our military men and women and their families that this community eagerly awaits them to safely return home. To the families of the pilots of these 2 jets, we salute you. Thank you for supporting this effort, for which I know it is a bittersweet ceremony, and thank you to every family member. In brief conversations with both families, it's my understanding that a member of the Vale family actually retired right here in Tyndall Air Force Base. It's also my understanding that Rick Seltzer was an active member in the Military Affairs Committee. For that, we thank you. And to close, I would like to say what I affectionately call the Al Mac ending. Freedom is not free, a concept we too often take for granted. Thanks for all you do. God bless and Godspeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to now recognize a member of the Vale family, Carla Gregory, who will come forward and give us a few words on behalf of the family. Thank you.
here today to honor our father, Major Carlton H. Bale Jr., and Captain Rick Seltzer, the jets, pilots of the jets that have stood for over 30 years at Gulf Coast State College and here at the Panama City Marina. They are symbols of their service and of so many others in the military. Some of you here knew our father, and many of you did not, but you knew his plane. And today I'd like to tell you a little bit about the man behind the plane. Sometimes I think it's ironic that my father was a pilot and I'm a very nervous flyer. We were always proud of Dad and his professional accomplishments, but we were surprised to find out that he wasn't always the responsible guy. He got kicked out of the University of Virginia for being too dedicated to Sigma Chi and not enough to his studies. A few days later, he was walking with a friend and he saw a jet formation overhead, and he pointed to it and he goes, "That's what I want to do." Luckily, he had the skills and guts it takes to become a pilot, and he was never happier than when he was in the air. He often mentioned that his flying nickname was Entrail Vale due to his place in the formation, and we thought that was a pretty colorful moniker, and it fit him to a T in his everyday life as well. Whether we were walking at a theme park or at the mall, Dad was always taking up the rear. And as he got older and his pace slowed, we swear that people thought he was an undercover security guard. Our father practiced here in the U.S. Air Force for 22 years. He served a year in Vietnam and was awarded the Bronze Star, the Distinguished Flying Cross, and the Air Force Commendation for his bravery and heroism and leadership. When he was stationed at Tyndall in 1973, he was appointed to be chief of the F101 division. And I just found out recently, after talking to my mother, that Captain Seltzer flew with my father while they were both at Tyndall. We never knew there was a connection between the two, and that touches us deeply to know that. Military service runs in our family. Our grandfathers were in the Navy, and my brother Michael is a lieutenant colonel in the Army. He just returned from a year in Afghanistan. And while we're very happy he's here today to honor our father, we're just really happy he returned home safely to us. Dad was an eternal optimist, and it definitely rubbed off on me because we could always see the silver lining in any situation. Before he went in for his triple bypass in 2001, he said to us, "If anything happens, don't worry. I've had a wonderful life and I have no regrets." When he was diagnosed with cancer 2 years later, Dad didn't let him change the way he lived one bit. He continued to live life to the fullest as if he had many tomorrows, and he did. Dad passed almost 4 years ago, but his wisdom and optimism and everything he ever taught us remains. My family wants to thank the City of Panama City for including us in this ceremony. Though after over 30 years, the jets are being moved and retired, and we will miss them. Most of all, we will miss the men behind the planes.
Thank you, Ms. Gregory. Appreciate it. Now I'd like to ask Ms. Seltzer if she would come forward and say a few words on behalf of her family.
If I've learned one thing at this point in life, it's extremely hard to say goodbye. And speaking in public, too. As a businessman and father, Rick Seltzer learned in life the importance of family, community, and hard work. Rick graduated from the United States Air Force Academy in 1969 and went on to perform aerial flights as an F101 jet pilot in the support of the Air Defense Weapons Center mission. He always believed it's your civic duty to serve. In addition to his service in our military, he served our community. Rick was a Bay County Commissioner, a Bay County Commission Chairman. He served on the Panama City Bay County Airport Authority and was a member of Rotary International and a Paul Harris Fellow. Rick treasured our community and considered it an honor to serve you. We were blessed. Our family and the community will really miss driving by that plane every day in front of the college and seeing and remember Rick and all that he stood for and his dedication to the community. I'll leave you with a short story. For those of you who knew Rick, he could be somewhat sure of himself now and again. On our first date, he pulled his car up near the plane in front of the college. I thought first, this was a little forward of him to think we were going to make out on the first date. But he just politely said, "You see that plane?" And I said, "Yes." He said, correcting his posture and filling his chest full of air, "I flew that very plane." Now, I'm telling you, it took everything in my power not to bust up laughing. And of course, I did not believe him. Now, I mean, how many young men, speaking to the ladies in the audience, have you dated who tried to convince you they flew the plane from college? So on our next date, he produces his flight log. However, I comment that it's handwritten. I thought he was going to scream. On the following date, he produces a typewritten log on some sort of Air Force official stationery that has his name, that tail number, and his social security number. And he had this overwhelming proud look on his face. So I waited a minute and said, "Well, Rick, you know, you must be getting old when they put your plane on a pedestal." God bless Rick Seltzer and the Vail family, and all the pilots that flew these planes, because these just weren't the only two. What a wonderful son, father, and husband, and a true asset to our community.
Thank you very much, Ms. Seltzer. We appreciate that. I'd like to bring you just a few words for our closing remarks. Thank you all so much for the stories and memories and your participation in today's ceremony. Our goal today was to pay proper honor and tribute to those who served our country and to the strong working relationships with Tyndall Air Force Base and all of our military facilities here in Bay County, as these jets so well symbolize. As the mayor stated, we are not closing this chapter in our history, but we are beginning a new journey, and we will have a new start. And soon our city commission will receive a proposal from our memorial committee that will honor all branches of the military in their service as part of the Marina Redevelopment Program. I am hopeful that you will be very well pleased with that effort. As a final part of our ceremony today, we will have the ever-popular song Amazing Grace, performed by Jody Ord on the bagpipes. This act not only represents closure, but our enduring faith in the future of this place as hallowed ground, our city, our greater community, and of course our nation. Let us rise and recognize the moment of silence. And then, I'm sorry, if we would have the honor guard come forward before that. I apologize, that's my error. Sir.
Good afternoon. For more than 200 years, the American flag has been a symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and 1960, the shape and design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor, white signifies purity and innocence, and blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Traditionally a symbol of liberty, the American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans both at home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words to the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag salute and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space when Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies on constellations of Air Force satellites that circle our globe, and on the fin flash of our aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies at the heart of every airman who serves our great nation. The sun never sets on our U.S. Air Force, nor on the flag we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of Americans has been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to preserving the freedom that others won for us for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive fold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on lands and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect